Once again, Tomcat fans, I'm Jody O'Hara, and you're watching the Stone County Enterprise Tomcat Insider. As always, I'm joined by Coach John Feaster of the Stone High football team. Coach, a very tough loss this past week, 2 points, 19-17 to league opponent, Pascagoula. You guys seem to have things in control in the first half. Things did not go as well for you in the second half. Talk a little bit about what you saw changing as the game went on.
Well, in the first half, first drive, particularly on defense, we had a couple missed opportunities. Balls on the ground twice. We didn't recover it. We had an opportunity to get an interception. We also had an opportunity to stop them on, I think it was third and long or fourth and long when they got the first down. We just didn't take advantage of a lot of opportunities. And for me, it started, I knew with that happening, I said, well, we're going to be in a tough ball game because when you're focused, those type of opportunities do not get by you. But I still, at that point, thought that we had a great shot to win. And we went up 17-7. I thought the goal line stand would lift us up. You know, of course, we don't want that turnover at the end of the half that we had and to set up the goal line stand. But I thought that goal line stand would say, okay, guys, we can play with these guys. We can beat them. You know, we can go out and we can come back, set the tone early in the second half. And
didn't quite work out that way, did it?
No, it didn't.
And I got to tell you, in all honesty, when you made the goal line stand at the end of the first half, that defensive unit that was on the field, it looked like the entire thing. I was standing on the goal line. It looked like they were shot out of a cannon. I mean, they just hammered that offensive line. They got into the backfield. They shut it down. I honestly thought at that point, I went, "Oh, this is a wrap." Look how much they are dominating here. And even halfway through the third quarter, I thought Pascagoula players were hanging their heads. They looked a little beat. They looked a little like they weren't believing they could do it anymore. I can't tell you the exact play. I can't tell you the exact time frame in that third quarter, but it turned. And all of a sudden, the Tomcats were the ones that appeared to be on the ropes. They had a 12-point lead and appeared to be on the ropes. And then they let them come back.
Well, that's a product of not believing in yourself and having low expectations for yourself. I mean, we just did not come out in that second half and take it to them like we were supposed to. Like you said, they were hanging their heads because we had outplayed them up to that point. And in all honesty, Pascagoula was a well-coached ball club, but I thought we were supposed to be up on them about 24-0 in the first half. So when that didn't happen, of course, I thought we had the opportunity to take control of the game, and we never did. Like you said, they were hanging their heads, and we didn't go for the kill shot. And I always liken it to a heavyweight fight. You have a guy on the ropes, you got to knock him out. If you don't, you're going to be in a dogfight, and the possibility of you being knocked out.
Well, and you had mentioned that Friday night at the end of the game. You said you had an opportunity to knock him out in the first quarter. You didn't do it. You had an opportunity to knock him out in the second quarter. Didn't do it. Same thing third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they knocked you out. I mean, that's what it. Yeah, knockout. Yeah, they won the ball game.
Well, yeah, like I said, okay. You can use the whole. You can use the Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson, or you can use one where Champion had a guy on the ropes and he didn't do it, and it goes to the decision, and that guy outfights you. He outlasts you because you exerted all that energy. But you didn't take advantage. You wasn't ready for those opportunities when they came. And it's disheartening, and I hate it for the kids because, you know, when you start losing division games, you start putting your faith in other people's hands versus taking control of your own destiny. And we're not used to that. And I have high expectations, and this staff has high expectations of, and you don't want to put your faith in someone else's hands.
Well, and that is truly the problem, isn't it? Now you've got a loss to Pascagoula. You could come down to a point where it would require somebody to beat them by X number of points, or there could be all the tiebreakers that can happen. I think even more important than that, you put yourself in a hole in the opportunity to have a home playoff game, as opposed to having to go on the road and travel a couple hours. 10 years ago it was Quitman. We had to go all the way up to Quitman for that's a long ride on a bus to go to a football game.
That's what I told the kids, man. Our goal coming in was to have a home playoff game. Now that's in jeopardy because we didn't take advantage of some opportunities, but we still can.
Oh yeah, it's not out of the question yet.
We can roll off some big wins, but again, we got to believe in. And our biggest struggle is team. it's about the team. It's not about me. And all parents say they want to win, but when their child is not the star, it's not about the team then. And so kids,
they want to win as long as their little one can be the star of the ball game.
Yeah, so as soon as we lose one, it's my mind not doing this. So I'm hoping, and the staff is hoping to get everyone brought into the team concept. Let's do what's best for the team, and if we do that, good things will happen.
You talked earlier this week too about not only the team concept. And once you've been talking here for the last couple minutes about believing in yourselves. You've also talked about that need for these kids to learn how to finish, to learn, how to play 4 quarters of football without let up.
And that's on our shirts, pregame woman shirts, finish strong. And you finishing strong is being able to do my job better and longer than the opponent.
That's right.
And again, as you look, we didn't do that against Pascagoula. We didn't do that against Pascagoula. And in all honesty, I feel like we outplayed against East Central. So that's something that I personally, as the head coach of the football team, got to find a way to get that out of our older guys.
And it's in there, right?
Yeah,
You just got
it's in all of us.
Yeah, exactly. Normally, the stars of the game we always talk about every week, they still did well. Terrion Avery still got 124 yards, 26 carries, scored his 13th and 14th touchdown. But he lost something in the second half, too. He gained, of that 124, let's say 125, he gained 75 in the first half, 50 more yards in the second half. But there was something out there. He wasn't able to get through those holes or make those moves, the one step and then go.
Well,
go ahead, please.
That comes with preparation. And I talked to him this week about his preparation for the game during the week. How much are you really putting out? Because it looked like that in the second half we lost rhythm, and when you lose rhythm, that means your body is not used to going that hard, that long. So how much are you putting out at practice? So we have to check ourselves. As a coach, I have to go check myself, and hopefully the other guys' staff going home checking themselves after a tough loss. And as players, you have to say, what could I have done? And like you said, if he gets 75 first half, 75 second half, we win the game, because that's another first down somewhere.
Exactly.
Or a touchdown. So.
Right.
And you just got to look at it. We get 2 more first downs, we seal the deal. We get 1 more stop, we seal the deal. So, and guys got to want to relish in those moments. We didn't want to go back out there on defense.
Right.
You got to want to go back out there. You got to want to get that stop. We wasn't ready. So that's the most disheartening thing about it.
Well, you seeing much difference in their attitudes this week?
Sometimes you have to light a fire up on them, but we got to get to where we don't have to light that fire.
Right.
You got guys on this team that may have the opportunity to play college football. If you got to have a fire lit up under you to go out and do that, you can't make it in college
You're not
football.
going to make it at that level.
Yeah.
You might not make it at this level through the whole season, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so Terrion, every week, almost every week, he's your offensive player of the game. Preston Stringer, your senior quarterback. A couple weeks ago, you started utilizing him as a linebacker. This week, he's your defensive player of the week. He makes 14 tackles, 4 of them for loss. He sacks the quarterback 3 times, forces a fumble, recovers a fumble. The kid's got it going on. He's got a nose for the football, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's tough, and he got a nose for the football. And again, just like Terry, like I told him, we told him. There's also some things. You had 14 tackles. There's a whole lot of things you could have did a little bit better. You probably could have had 18. But yes, he's tough, and to have him on your defense, you always got a shot because he's going hard, and when he hits you, you're gonna know he hit you.
Oh yeah.
So he's a good football player, man. He has some traits that you can't coach, and that's toughness. Toughness. You can try to build toughness, but have toughness in you. And that competitive spirit to get to the ball all the time.
Well, toughness is a mental concept more than a physical concept.
Exactly.
Take that physical, the grace that he has and the power that he has, and put it to work. On special teams, once again, Mason Hunt, 5 touchbacks, 2 extra points, and a 48-yard field goal that we were talking earlier with one of the other parents in your office. Said from upstairs where he was in the booth, it looked like it would have been good for another 10 yards. I was on the ground, I said that would have been good from 55 yards. How many times have you seen a high school football place kicker put a ball 48 yards for a field goal?
One time, a couple of years back, we had a pretty good kicker on the Pearl Simmons, but I think Mason is the best high school kicker
He's something
I've
else.
been around. And gifted athlete, and but just a lot like Terrion and Preston. If he makes one more,
Right. Oh, yeah.
ball game.
Yeah, but he had a 40-yarder, and I was down on the sideline, and it looked to me like somebody got a hand on it. The ball knuckled as it came across the offensive line there.
That's about how our night went. Most automatic kid on our team. He's
Right.
automatic. But that was just, you don't lose, you learn. Hopefully, as players, we learned a lot. I know I did, personally, and our staff did. But, to have a kicker like Mason Hunt, again, you always know you got a shot.
Right.
And congratulations to him. They the North-South All-Star game. They announced it today. It's well-deserved. Felt like a couple other kids may have deserved it on there also, but we're going to get behind Mason. We knew he would make it.
No, that's the North-South State All-Star game. There's still Alabama, Mississippi All-Stars still to be determined
No,
later.
they determined both today.
Oh, okay, they did. Did
Yes,
he make
sir.
the Alabama,
He
Mississippi?
made North-South.
Whoa.
Yeah, well, talked to a couple other media guys outside of here, and they was a little disappointed that Mason didn't make it. So it's kind of disheartening, but we're in Stone County, man. People not going to give us anything.
That's right.
We got to go out and take it, and then we got to take it upon ourselves to take it and get that respect.
Last week you were talking about measuring your program, and you said one of the measures of the program came on Monday night when your freshman and your JV played. Down at ALMA Memorial Stadium Monday night, you had PRC come over, and you had to combine. They didn't have enough players, as I understood it, to put two teams on the field. So you combined your JV and your freshman, and flat out, it was ugly. The beginning of the game was just ugly. They fumbled the ball on their first 4 possessions. They fumbled the ball on 4 of 5 offensive plays. They lost all 4 fumbles, and PRC was able to score 2 touchdowns off those turnovers. However, your defense stood up, shut PRC down. You came back, you won 21-12. It was kind of an impressive comeback for a bunch of young men.
Well, again, a tale of 2 halves, or quarter by quarter. You can say they're learning from the older guys. We got to play a complete game in that aspect also. I felt good, and we was able to fight back. We were down the hole with a 12-0.
It was 12-0.
12-0, and we came out the hole. A couple of young guys stepped up and made some huge plays, had some huge stops on defense, and a lot of JV guys. And I don't want to name too many, but I will name a few. You don't want to leave anybody out, but I know our defensive line was Hayden and Kobe Willis and Tatum Peters and Chris Brown. So that was just some of the guys that stood out. Linebackers, Cobb and Curtis Kennedy, Carter, secondary, Tice Monroe, Eddie Fleury, Timmy Hughes, Nate Fairley, who was the other outside backer, Kelvin Marshall. Them guys played tough, and they could have gave up.
Right.
They could have said, man, it's just a JV game, but they're learning to compete, and they took it serious, and we had to make a couple big plays to hold them off and take the lead. And I'm proud of those kids,
Well, and you got, in the second quarter, Jacqueline Green, he scored your first touchdown on a 60-yard run. In the third quarter, Caleb Montgomery. My goodness. Caleb Armstrong, I'm sorry, not Montgomery. One of the most impressive runs from scrimmage I've seen, especially for such a little guy. He hit 3 or 4 defenders, and they couldn't put their arms around him. And then he juked 3 or 4 more, and then he just took off the left side. It was impressive to watch.
Yeah, he's another pretty good athlete, very good, very highly skilled guy. And again, we try to teach these guys at a young age the importance of hard work, being dedicated to something, and being committed to it. And I think what we're struggling with here is part of commitment, and hopefully we're putting it in those young guys. Caleb had a nice run, and you had Jay Woodard.
Woodward,
exceptional run also. But trying to teach these guys to just stay committed to something, because commitment is not just saying I'll do it at that time. It's to be committed when you're out of that mood. When that motivation dies, are you still going to be committed? And that's something that we haven't showed. But Monday night, it makes the week go a little smoother. When you win a Monday night football game, and I'm proud of those young kids, man. I'm very proud of them.
And Jay got your 3rd touchdown.
Yeah.
And you talked about Dylan Cobb at linebacker. Dylan had a couple of pretty good runs on that final possession too.
He's a good back himself. We have a lot of good backs. We're trying to spread that ball around to those guys, and he ran hard. He blocked hard. So Like I said again, I'm happy for those young guys because they don't always get the opportunity to get the glory. But, you know, they got to understand that glory comes on Monday and be ready on Friday. You know,
Right,
you're always
exactly.
next man up.
Well, and so here we go. We're going to travel down to Gaucher on Friday night. Be your third league game. You're now 1-1. We talked a little bit earlier. You know, you want to start winning them games. You want to set your own destiny for the postseason.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
However, we're going into they're going to be loud. There are going to be a lot of people down there, and they're a very athletic ball club.
Yeah, we just got to hustle to the football. I'm not going to ever get away from that. Your effort will erase a lot of mistakes. Do you want to have mistakes? No, but you're going to make them. But you got to have a high effort. You know, you got to have a high motor. And we're learning to do that every snap. You can go back and watch film, and you see you can put the laser on guys and say, are you running like you can make a tackle? And you see guys letting up as they're going to the tackle. They think somebody made it.
Right.
And when the kid breaks the tackle, you got to speed up.
You're not there.
So that comes with time. Wasn't always like that when I was a kid. It wasn't always like that when I was at PRC. But eventually, you get into that mode, and you have a special group of kids come through, and they're going to be committed to that type of effort. So hopefully, you know, it'd be a shame for these seniors not to experience or have a playoff experience.
Exactly.
You know, so,
especially with their potential.
Yes,
I mean, if they didn't make it.
Gaucher is very athletic. Got one of the best kept secrets in South Mississippi. DeAndre Tord, very special athlete.
Yeah, we looked into it. He put up 440 yards against a very good Picayune team, and he didn't do it just running from scrimmage. He had 100 and some rushing. He had 100 and some receiving. He ran for a couple touchdowns. He caught a touchdown pass. And he had 150-some yards in kick returns. I mean, the guy just was putting up numbers left and right.
He flat out put some numbers.
So how many guys on the Tomcat squad are you going to have to tell? Number 4. Keep your eye on. I think he's number 4. 12. Number 12. Keep your eyes on number 12.
If I got to tell him,
something's wrong. Huh? All right. Well, folks, there you have it. Another week of Tomcats football's in the book. Get down to Gaucher and support your Tomcats this week. This week's Players of the Week: Terrion Avery, Preston Stringer, Mason Hunt, brought to you by Tice Engineering, and we appreciate Tice Engineering supporting the Tomcats in that way. We'll see you next week here on